Let's quickly look at the format of a debtors or a sales ledger control account. Yeah, this account is prepared to ascertain all debtors and the relationship between the buyer and the seller. Yes, this account is prepared like only one debtor existed. In sales ledger control account, we concentrate more on all transaction between the buyer and sellers in terms of debts. I will start by explaining to you that on the debit side of a sales ledger control account, all increase in debt are located on the debit side. Whenever the debt is increasing, it should be on the debit side of the sales ledger or debtors control account. And now on the credit side of the debtors control account, it helps us to reduce all debts. It helps us to have a reduction of our debt figures. Take for instance, this is a sales ledger or a debtors ledger control account. Okay, sales ledger or a debtors ledger control account, as we have explained in our previous videos. The balance brought forward of our sales information, that's debtors information. Then we have sales, which is a credit sales, which is a debtor volume. Then we have interest charge on uh, due account, okay, which is a debt. Then we have dishonored bills, where bills are dishonored, where these uh, bills are not recognized in a particular firm, okay, is actually an additional problem to the organization. Then we have what we call carried out was, which is an expenses. Yeah, it's part of the cost used in taking an item to an organization. Yes, everything on the debit side of a sales ledger control account helps us to increase debt. It's just an increase in debt. Yes, it's an increase in debt. Yes, we are trying to see all the debt information on the credit, on the debit side, I beg your pardon, of the sales ledger control account. Here we have what we call a debit note. This is a commercial document that is issued by a buyer to a seller, actually indicating that they are unfinished business. Either an item should be returned, okay, between a buyer and a seller. So where sales are not yet complete, so we experience a debit. That is what the debit note does. It's an indication that actually the there is an amount that is being owed by the buyer. Okay, yes, to be able to offset such debt for adjustment purposes, a debit note will be issued to the buyer, indicating that an adjustment, an amount is actually owed by such a person. That is why it's a commercial document that is issued by a buyer to a seller. Yeah, so as to indicate that an additional amount or an adjustment of an returned item, okay, is still part of this debit note. So that is what the debit note does by displaying what the buyer owes the seller. We have the other one here called payment to debtors for claims. Then we have a service charges. Like I said before, all items that will increase debt information are on the debit side of the sales ledger or debtors control account. Then we have our credit side. Just have it in your memory. That's just a simple way to understand the sales ledger control account or debtors control. Whatever items increases debt goes to the debit side. And where there's a reduction in debt, we take it down to the credit side of our control account. So the credit side of debtors or sales ledger control account helps us to reduce all debt. Here we have cash received from debtors. Yes, there's a reduction of our debt already. Checked from customers, discounts allowed, bills receivable. All of these are ways of reducing all our debt information. Yeah, bad debts, I must emphasize here, is an irrecoverable amount, as we all know. Okay, a bad debt is described as a debt that cannot be recovered. So there is no need having your bad debt figure where it is overstating your profit. It is better we take it as a debt reduction and say, okay, there is no need putting it to add up to our income where is already a bad debt. Okay, then we have what we call contract settlement. I've explained in our previous video. This contract settlement is going to be used both on the creditors control and also the sales control. Watch other videos, you will see where we emphasize on contract settlement, uh, uh, contract settlement, or set off, as the case may be. Thanks for listening. God bless you.